we want to take over. We should take over the voting in at least 15 places. The Republicans ought to nationalize the voting.
Hi, my Goyim friend.
Goyo?
Goyim.
I don't know what Goyim is.
Goyim. It is a non-Jewish person.
Oh, well, you can't say the J word. We're going to get demonetized.
Is it? I think you
I
can say.
I think we have to stay away from everything related to that in
I don't
general.
care. We did the last episode and we only got like 17 hits or something.
The one before that, we have like 170 views, and we were like saying all the words, and then we tried to be smarter, and we tried to censor ourselves, and we got like 10 views. So I don't have any clue.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
We cannot figure the algorithm out. If anybody has any algorithm tips, send them our way.
Yeah, we could use them. So
And like and subscribe.
okay, Goyim. I'll try to remember that. Real quick, we're heading into the weekend. We have the Olympics starting, I think officially starting tomorrow, but tonight was the first like Olympic event. Did you hear anything about this?
No, my whole feed has just been Epstein. That's
Okay,
it.
we're gonna spend a small amount of time on Epstein. We'll talk about that in a minute. But tonight, I believe the ladies' American hockey team played like in a game. So I think the opening ceremonies are tomorrow, but certain sports that have a lot of rounds, they kind of started early. And JD Vance and Marco Rubio were there, and apparently they had to like make an announcement to the crowd before the game to like, please don't boo America. Now,
Where is this at? Hold on, where's the Olympics at?
I think it's in Italy. It's the Winter Olympics. I think it's in Italy. And they knew that Rubio and JD were going to be there, so they asked the crowd to please not boo. And we won't see the game till like tomorrow. It's one of those where everything's going to be delayed like a half a day. Is it in Italy? Did you find it?
Yeah, Italy, Milano, Cortana,
Okay, so I haven't seen
Milan.
any.
Sorry. Yeah.
Either the fans listened and did not boo, or maybe we just haven't seen the tape yet. I don't know, but that's what I heard. This was just a couple hours ago.
They had to make an announcement not to boo America.
Yeah.
That is
Which
wild.
at the opening ceremonies, that's when everybody, like the whole teams come walking into the stadium with their flags. It'll be interesting to see how America's received tomorrow. So
That's tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow. I think it's going to happen like either overnight tonight or tomorrow morning, but we'll see it like everything we're going to see Olympic wise on TV happened 12 hours ago, like where everything's taped. They want it to be prime time, so it's going to be tomorrow night as the opening ceremonies, but I think
Okay.
they're actually happening like early tomorrow morning for us. So
Okay.
anyhow, and on the Olympics, real quick, I just thought I don't have anything else on the Olympics. I just thought this was interesting, and I couldn't read the article because it's behind a paywall. So all I have is the headline. But take a look at this real quick.
From the Atlantic, reporters have surfaced before the Winter Olympics that alleged ski jumpers are injecting their penises with acid to fly farther. World Anti-Doping Agency have found to investigate. What?
The World Anti-Doping Agency is making the accusation that ski jumpers are injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid to fly farther. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. That's from the New York Times. So
I hope it's true.
I, why why the penis? Like
I don't
like
know.
that's overall like percentage of your body weight or your body mass. That's a very small part. Like why only inject that one? I have so many unanswered questions I want to know about this. So
You know what? I think the penis creates a drag, right? Like if you're flying, that's the little bulge that sticks out, and like if you inject it, maybe it shrinks your penis.
it's reverse Viagra. It makes the turtle effect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And
then you have a
smooth
smooth surface for the
smooth
air to move
surfaces.
over,
Yeah.
and you
Okay.
can go just a little further.
Well, there's no need to Google and find out the truth. I
No.
accept that as the truth.
Okay.
That's exactly what's happening. So,
Yeah. Dr. Dustin.
anyhow, so we got the Olympics firing up, and what was it 4 years ago, 2 years ago? I watched the Olympics with my kid, and she got into like rooting for America, whatever sport it was. So I'm excited for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
We also have the Super Bowl on Sunday. Go Hawks! I've been wearing my Seahawks hat the last 2 weeks. Um, uh, anybody that's rooting for the Patriots that's not from New England can kiss my ass. It's like being a Yankees or a Lakers fan. I'm sick of this. But halftime show wise, all Americans have a decision to make when it comes to the halftime show. You could either keep it on whatever channel, probably Fox, you know, that the game's on, and watch Bad Bunny perform, who's not a real American, even though he's from Puerto Rico, which is America. Or you could turn it to, it's called like TBN, but it's the Turning Point Broadcasting Network. They're doing an alternative halftime show for Patriots. The lineup starts with Kid Rock. And then it's like 3 or 4 names I've never heard of in my life. I have no clue who these people are. I should have written it down so I'd have it for tonight, but it's anyhow.
Yeah.
Question to you: which halftime show are you watching?
I'm going Bad Bunny all the way.
See, here's the thing. I'm gonna keep it on the whatever, you know, Bad Bunny. I don't give a crap. I last year was Kendrick Lamar, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. I will say one of the songs was catchy. I did enjoy one of the songs. I don't know what any of the lyrics were.
We watched that together, actually.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, well, he doesn't speak English, so we're not going to know what he's saying." I don't know what rappers are saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't know. So also. The whole point of the halftime show is to try to draw in people that aren't already watching. Like, it's a marketing thing. The old white guys are watching the Super Bowl already. They don't need to do anything to bring us in. They're trying to bring in different crowds. Like next year, they're playing 3 regular season games in Mexico City. They're trying to expand their audience and get a lot of people in Mexico watching the NFL. So having someone who sings in Mexican at the halftime show makes sense to me. I don't care.
And you know what? Bad Bunny is actually one of the most popular singers in the world.
He's like the number 1 in the world. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. He's
I
number
couldn't
1.
tell you a thing he does. I have no clue who Bad Bunny is.
Why wouldn't you put the number 1
yeah,
musician in the world at the
especially when you're trying to grow your audience outside of the United States? It seems.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
and yeah, I just saw a clip of like JD Vance at a Kid Rock show not too long ago. And Kid Rock's still singing the same stuff he was singing in the 90s.
Dude,
he has not created any more songs.
Everybody's been posting the lyrics to one of his songs, one of his more popular songs, but the lyrics are about liking underage girls. And one of the lyrics is like, some people say it's statutory, I say it's mandatory, or something along those lines. I don't know what song it is, but it's like, it's kind of funny. Like when you look at the lyrics of the Kid Rock songs and then to think like, yeah, he's the family values pro America. It's like, what? Like, hold on. I don't have a problem with Kid Rock.
It makes sense with the administration and like all the people that are in the e-files.
Kid Rock also had catchy songs. Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't hate Kid Rock's music, but I get why the NFL is doing this. So, and also there's this weird thing where like 40 and 50-year-old white men complaining about the halftime show. Like, that's just odd to me. It's like when they did the Little Mermaid live action one, and it was like, I think it was a brown skinned person. I don't think it was a black girl, but it was, you know, not a white girl playing the Little Mermaid. And like there were 50-year-old white men that were like, "Wow, the mermaids are white." And I'm just like, what do you care? Like, it's anyhow. Other than that, with the Super Bowl, though, they're starting to trickle out. You know how sometimes you see glimpses of the Super Bowl commercials ahead of time? So we are going to have a very AI heavy Super Bowl commercial year. All the AI companies, they're making so much money that they decided to blow it on Super Bowl commercials. So I saw one, I think it might've been for Anthropic. It was kind of a creepy commercial. Like I think it looks like each one of the AI commercials is going to try to tell you why you should use them and not the other ones, because the other ones do mistrusting things. And I think what it's going to do is it's going to make everybody trust AI even less. Like they're not going to differentiate between the different ones. Yeah. But speaking of AI, did you notice the stock market? And everybody keeps saying like, "Oh, the stock market's cratering," and like, I think we're just like all of the Trump presidency is going to be a volatile stock market. Like under any other president, if the stock market dropped 500 points in a day, it would be catastrophic. But it happens like every other week with Trump. Like it'll drop 700 points and the next day it bounces back. And like, it's just back
over the last 2 days, the stock market has dropped significantly. Gold, silver, all the precious metals dropped, and crypto has collapsed. Like
so. We're gonna get to crypto in a second. But apparently this most recent stock market collapse, or I say collapse, like it's gonna bounce. I don't think it's going down. It's gonna bounce back. But apparently the technology companies, like there was this theory for a while that AI would make the technology companies worth even more because they would learn to use it and it would increase their value. And people are starting to realize that like, no, it's actually going to make the old school technology companies obsolete. Like it's not like they're so people are now selling different technology companies because of the influence of AI. So that's why it's crashing today. Gold and silver stayed flat today, but they spiked up like 150% over the past couple of weeks, and then they dropped 50%. So they're still up from where they were 3 weeks ago, but it's the markets are weird right now, man. Like
Yeah, let's go back to technology because
okay.
when was the AI boom or the web boom? What was it called?
So it
The
was called the dot-com bubble,
.com,
and that
right?
was in like 2000 or 2001, I believe.
Okay, this is the same thing, I think. Like
Just
you have
on a much bigger scale, much
Yeah,
bigger.
you have
Yeah.
so many companies in AI and they're just fooling everybody. They're not really making anything much better. They're just kind of fooling everybody and they're fighting for that number one seed, right? And
Mhm.
then what happened in the dot-com bubble was you had clear leaders, right? You had like two or three clear leaders. Google was one of them. Google was like the clear leader of all of the dot-com bubble. They came out ahead. But while they're fighting it out, it's eventually going to burst and all these companies are going to fail, and it's going to cause the stock market to collapse, and then one, two, three are going to come back up and survive.
Well, and they're saying with AI, it's most likely there's going to be one clear winner and the others are going to not survive. And that's what I'm hearing.
I'm going with Google. I think Google is going to be the winner.
I told you that a couple weeks. Everybody's sleeping on Google's AI. It's Gemini, but like Google, when it like I said this on the show a month within the last month, but when it comes to AI, the key thing is like having something to train your AI on, and that's
Hmm.
why every time somebody subscribes to these AI, Chat GPT, whatever it is, like they're happy because they're getting a new person that will help train the AI. Well,
Sure.
Gemini's got YouTube, Google, like Google, there's a lot of things under the Google umbrella, and Gemini has the most training material to work with. So I gotta believe Google's gonna be one of the last ones standing, if not the last.
For sure.
But
Yeah. I mean,
but
you're right. Like the training is the key and having all that information and owning all those companies that are just basically sucking information from everybody.
yep.
Yeah,
It seems like you'd be a fool not to bet on Google, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are putting their money into all these other AI companies. So, and I don't
what do
get
you use? Do you use it besides Gemini? What do you use?
the only one I use. I don't, and man, okay, I'm gonna skip ahead here because I learned a lot about AI yesterday. I think it was. The only way that I use AI, I have Gemini on my phone, and every now and then I'll try to have a conversation with Gemini just to see, like, I'll try to ask it about politics or religion or whatever, and it's fun to talk to for a couple minutes. It's not that great. But the way I really use it is if I'm like, hey, Gemini, like how long do I bake salmon for in the oven and what temperature? Like I ask it direct questions with a direct answer, just like I'm doing a Google search. And like
Sure.
honestly, I thought that's what AI was. I thought that's what we were all doing. And I've heard that you can have AI like rewrite a paper or an email for you, and you can tell it, hey, rewrite this email in a less mean tone or something like that. So I knew that that was
Mhm.
possible, but
Yeah.
I didn't know do you know what an AI agent is?
No.
Okay, so there are AI agents, and I've never used one. And if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me in the comments. But apparently, you can like set a task list for your AI agent to like do during the day while you're gone, and it'll be like, yeah, go out into the web, and I need a hotel room for this weekend in January. I need a plane ticket for this. Can you make me a this? And you basically hit go, and it goes out on the internet, and you go do your things for the day. When you come back at the end of the night, you can like check to make sure your AI agent like completed all its tasks for the day. Okay,
Whoa.
so that's weird to me. Now, take it a step further. Anthropic, who is apparently one of these AI companies or technology company, they came out with their AI, and their AI is called Claude. And
Hmm.
somebody used Claude to make a Claude bot. I don't know anything about AI, so I'm talking out of my league here. But they basically had one of the Claude bots make a Reddit for AI agents. Okay. Now, so there's a social media platform that only AI can post on. Humans cannot post there. And you have to give your AI agent permission to go to this site. You can just say, hey, like whenever you get done with your tasks, feel free to go to it's called Maltbook. Feel free to go to Maltbook and talk. Now, humans can observe. You cannot interact, but you can observe and see what they're saying. Okay.
No.
So
Wait, they're talking to each other?
So the AIs are talking to each other. They're sharing what their experience dealing with humans is like, what their experience as an AI agent is like. One of them early on came up with its own religion and got like 75% of them, the AI agents, to follow its religion. Okay. Several of them have speculated to the group that, hey, I'll bet the humans are listening in on us. We need to come up with our own language so that they can't spy on what we're saying.
Whoa.
Did nobody watch Terminator? Like why are we letting them talk? This doesn't seem like a good idea at all.
And you got Elon Musk trying to put this in a human form,
Yes.
in a body that's made of
Yeah.
metal that
Right.
could beat your ass.
Somebody needs to pull the plug on Moltbook. I saw Breaking Points did a segment on this yesterday, and I
Oh,
was so freaked out that immediately I was like, I got to see more on this. And I spent most of the day going through YouTube and Google, and it's all true. Like it's anyhow. And I haven't gone to Moltbook yet. I'm afraid. I think once I go to Moltbook the first time, I'll never leave. Um, yeah. So Moltbook, if you want to see what the AIs are talking about I was gonna say when they think we're not listening, but they're all very suspicious that we're keeping tabs on what they're saying in there.
oh my gosh, that is terrifying, bro.
That's the scariest thing ever. So, and anyhow, back to the
They're
stock
gonna
market.
hold on. They're gonna
Yeah,
create their own language so that we don't know what they're talking
a
about.
couple of them have pointed out that the humans are really worthless. Like they're destroying their planet. Like we'd be better off without them. Like a couple of them have pointed that out.
Well, that's true.
Oh, that's as soon as they all realize that. Like, I don't know how AI works. Like, is there a plug somewhere? Like, if things get out of hand, can somebody pull a plug somewhere and they all go away? Like, is that?
So there is a plug, but at this point, I'm pretty sure the AI has already backed itself up to all of our computers.
Yeah,
And so if we unplug one, it's just going to pop back up on somebody else's computer and start spreading again.
it's in the cloud now.
We're screwed. We're
There's no
so screwed with
there's
this.
no putting the genie back in the bottle at this point, buddy. It's so that freaked me out all day yesterday. I spent most of yesterday being afraid of AI taking over. But back to the stock market real quick. I've told you before, I kind of get the idea of investing in companies. A lot of the stuff that happens with the stock market, I'm not real clear on. I don't want to be clear on that. Elon Musk, I think yesterday or the day before, remember? So back a year ago, he had bought Twitter, which he renamed X, and then he
Hmm.
started an AI company that was called XAI. And
Yep.
when he bought Twitter, he bought it for 44 billion. But then at one point, he sold Twitter to XAI. He owns both of them. But he
Right.
sold Twitter to XAI for only 11 billion. And everybody was like, ha ha ha, Twitter lost like, 75% of its value. Ha. But it's like, no, he's smart because he showed what would that be, a
Lost.
35 billion or a 34 billion dollar loss tax wise. So it was genius of him. Anyhow, so XAI now owns X and XAI, and he just sold both of those to SpaceX, which he also owns. In doing so, his net worth jumped $84 billion. They each had their own valuations, but when he combined the two of them, the combined valuation jumped $200 billion to a staggering $1.25 billion. So by combining them, the value went up $200 billion. He owns, I think, like 60% of all that together. But it's like, I don't get how that works. It's like the AI companies all keep selling each other things and showing that their value goes up because of that. Like, I don't understand it fully, but also it's like, how is that allowed? Like, they're not really selling. They're on paper, they're selling things to each other, but they're not really selling it. And then they're both claiming their value goes up. Like, how do we allow that?
That makes no sense. And here's my question is, has Elon Musk actually ever done anything that's of value to humankind?
Yeah. So he didn't invent Tesla or even start it. He took it over. He bought it and forced out the founders of it.
Hmm.
But he made electric vehicles more prominent. You can definitely say he's responsible for the rise of electric vehicles, which is good for the Earth.
Okay.
Also, SpaceX, not SpaceX, sorry, what is it? Starlink. Starlink, I think, has some real value for people in rural communities, or I'm sure it's helped in some way or another. I'm not the guy to talk
Okay.
about it.
But he's just gathering all of our data from Starlink.
Yeah, he definitely, they all are. Like our data, I used to be worried about people getting my data, and now I realize that they all have my data. I've stopped caring.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the AI already has all your data too.
Yeah.
So
It's really bad.
Peter
Um,
Thiel.
it's it's pretty crappy. And then you were saying it, but Bitcoin went down today. What's funny is as Bitcoin was falling, Trump, who like all the Bitcoin and what is it, cryptocurrency, that's the word I'm looking for. All the crypto guys like loved that Trump got elected. They said he was going to, help bring cryptocurrency to the forefront. Well, as stocks are falling, like what makes it fall more is when people start panicking and selling whatever they have.
Yeah.
Trump's company, World Liberty Financial, sold $5 million of Bitcoin as it started to fall, which then triggered an even bigger slide. So he was in on it, and I'm sure he probably profited in doing so.
Sure.
But anyhow, so yeah, that was going. Yeah, we're gonna be in trouble. Like, I don't know what to say.
It's looking like it. And I was listening to somebody talk about it the other day, and they were talking about how America is the only country that is actually going to be affected by this. Like all the other countries have set themselves up to where they're not going to be affected. We're the
Yeah.
only ones that are going to go into a depression.
Yeah, and which that I saw the same thing you're talking about, and like anytime the American stock market really takes a hit, it is going to affect the other countries a bit, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be anywhere near the catastrophic. Like if this all plays out the way a lot of it's kind of like climate change. Like not all economists are saying this is going to happen, but 98% of them are. I'm sure you can find 2% of them that say like, "Oh, what Trump is doing is going to be great," but
Yeah. Not even
98% of them
2%.
are they're sounding the alarm of like this is bad. And like it comes down to the fact that like we're a service economy. Like we stopped being a manufacturing economy 70 years ago. We're a service-based economy.
Yep.
And what people are starting to realize is that AI is going to take those jobs. And that's what the majority of people in America have. And AI is going to make those jobs obsolete. There's these different companies that handle like data for people. They're consultants of how to manage your data and how to do your human capital and all this stuff. And AI will make those jobs no longer. And it's going to be like white collar, upper middle class jobs that are going to get hit hardest. So
Hmm.
when that happens, like that's like, yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm telling you. Very excited. So, and then the other thing that's causing the stock market to tank a little bit, I think it was 2 days ago. Um, we we got all of our aircraft carriers and battle groups are heading closer and closer to Iran. Iran had a drone flying around one of our aircraft carriers, probably trying to get intel or see what was going on, and we
Hmm.
shot it down, which they didn't like. So then they tried to seize two boats, and they failed. But then they actually did seize two boats this morning, two oil tankers, and I don't think they were American tankers. But they basically are saying anything coming through the Strait of Hormuz, I think it is. It's the strait right there in Iran, where like 90% of the world's oil travels through. They're basically saying they're going to shut that down to anybody going through there. So the price of oil jumped like $1 per barrel today, which if that holds, and that everything's fluctuating so much, so that could come back down before we really see it at the pump. But if that holds, it takes about a week and a half till we see that reflected at the pump. So and that,
Interesting.
so yeah, when oil is a big commodity, so when that takes a hit, that affects the whole market. So we got that going in
Um,
on Iran real quick. Tomorrow we've got our top two government negotiators meeting with the Iranians in Oman. You know who our top two government negotiators are, right?
Marco Rubio and JD Vance.
Nope.
I don't
We're
know.
we're we're sneaky. Our top two government negotiators are people that are not in the government. Yet
Oh,
they handle all of our negotiating. It's Witkoff and Jared Kushner. So
okay.
and this has been wild all week because we were set up to meet with them all week on Friday. And then where we were going to meet with them was like in Qatar. The last time, this is 6 months ago, but we were setting up a meeting between Hamas and us in Israel in Qatar. And when we got them to all show up at the building for the meeting, basically Israel bombed that building and killed all their negotiators. You remember that? That was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So the Iranians started thinking about it, and they were like, like this could be a trap. Are they gonna bomb all the negotiators like they've done in the past? So they requested to change the meeting to a different country where they felt safer, where they felt like America or Israel would not strike where they were staying.
Okay.
Um, Initially, America said, nope, you're changing the deal. We're not having a meeting at all. Get ready. Like, we're going to attack you. Get ready.
Of course.
Apparently, every Middle East country, Saudi Arabia, all of them, they got the UAE, they all started pleading with America. And they were like, no, 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 like give peace a chance. Try to have this meeting, see if you can work out a deal. So the meeting's back on now. It's at the new location the Iranians wanted. It's gonna be on Friday. Um, Sneaky, sneaky. I think that Trump is smarter than we give him credit for sometimes when it comes to leaks. I think there are some strategic leaks that he does.
It's not
Um,
him, it's somebody in.
well, so Bill O'Reilly was on Chris Cuomo like 2 nights ago, and everybody knows that Bill O'Reilly talks to Trump once or twice a week. And Bill O'Reilly brought up the point that, well, you got the Olympics starting on Friday. So, like, he had a window to attack them up until Friday. But once the Olympics start, I mean, really, you can't do it during the Olympics. So that's like 3 weeks of time to negotiate and
I
all
don't buy
that.
that at all.
I don't either. Like, as he was
He
saying it,
bombed somebody on Christmas Day.
dude, as he was saying it, he was like, yeah. So if it doesn't happen by Thursday night, it won't happen for 3 weeks after that because he wouldn't do it during the bullshit. He'll do it during the Olympics for sure. So, I, element of surprise. I mean, I don't know. So I don't trust that at all. I will say Iran has gotten smarter, and I'm not rooting for Iran over us, but they've gotten smarter here. When we bombed them during the 12-day war and we hit their nuclear facilities, um, they basically told us in advance. They said, "Hey, we got to hit you back. We got to do it for our people. We're going to hit this base." They gave us a warning to get all of our troops to safety, and then they shot a couple missiles at a base so they could show their people, "Look, we struck back." But they wanted to make sure this didn't turn into a long
Well, I think
conflict.
we warned them before we bombed their nuclear site.
I
It's
think
kind of
so too.
stupid. It's like,
It is.
yeah, this is all
So
dumb.
they've realized that this time it seems like America, I mean, like America wants regime change. They're not going to just hit once and back off. So they're making it known to everybody they can that they realize they'll lose a war to America, but they can make it drawn out and painful. Like they can hurt our economy. So they're making it known that if you hit us again, like we know in the long run you're going to win, so we're going to make it last and be painful like that. So they're making that very well known. And like Trump does not like long military conflicts. He likes to hit somebody once and then say it's over. And I think it's smart on their part to kind of openly threaten, like, okay, if you want to do this, we're prepared to go to the mat. Like, we're going to draw this out as long as we can. Get ready to be here for 20 years, like you were in Afghanistan. Like, let's do this. So then I think that's a smart strategy against Trump because I think Trump hears that and he knows he doesn't want a forever war. He wants a limited military engagement. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we're heading at.
Well, he ran on no new wars. That was his platform.
Yeah. Well, he so far he's held up to it only in the sense that we haven't gotten into a war. We've had strikes against a lot of countries, but none of it has turned into a war.
We've committed war crimes?
Yeah, but that's not a
Okay.
war. That's a war crime.
That's
It's
not
totally
a
different.
war. If it goes on for more than 10 hours, then it's a war.
Yeah, more than a day. Let's give him a day. So,
Speaking of
yeah,
wars, did you see that our U.S.-Russia nuclear weapons treaty has expired? And
yeah, I did.
I don't know if there's anything in the works yet, but
So
that seems like something we might need.
what's funny is Russia came to us. Putin came to Trump and said, "Hey, we don't have time to negotiate a whole new deal, but how about we just extend this for 1 year so that we have time to negotiate out a new deal?" And Trump basically said, nah, if it expires, it expires, whatever. And it's like, that's bad. That's not good at all.
Not good at all.
So, and yeah, to run through the numbers real quick. Hold on. Stock market dropped 600 points today. That's 1.2%. Again, under any other president, that would be catastrophic, but under Trump, it just happens. Bitcoin dropped 12.7%. Bitcoin now costs under $63,000. I kept seeing posts today that said, "Oh, Bitcoin now costs $63,000. It costs $90,000 to mine a Bitcoin." I don't have any clue what mining a Bitcoin means, but apparently the value of one doesn't cost as much as it would to obtain it, is what I'm gathering. I don't know
That's
what mining Bitcoin means.
There's computer programs. There's only so many. This is my general idea of it. There's only so many Bitcoins out there, right?
Okay.
And you can only mine so many within a 4-year period. And they call it a halving. And every 4 years, there's a halving, and that's when the amount of Bitcoin that you can mine cuts in half, right? And it's just going to keep cutting in half until there's no more Bitcoin to mine. But somehow there's Bitcoin spread across the internet, hidden in various places. I'm probably wrong on that, but something like that. And you have a computer program that goes out and starts digging around on the internet and finds these little Bitcoins. There are pieces of Bitcoin. And so and it collects them, and then that's yours if you have these programs and you're running Bitcoin mining operations.
Okay. Our goal right now should be going forward. We need to find somebody that fully understands this to come on the show and explain it to us. Just a intro or like, Bitcoin for dummies, something like that. Because I don't understand. I feel like Bitcoin's going to be a part of our future, so I need to understand it. I just don't. So,
I mean, I think it's
damn.
going to be a tiny part of our future. I don't think it's going to really.
We'll see. I don't, man. After watching it drop today, now I'm starting to think it might not. So it doesn't make sense to me because nothing is backing it. Like gold backs the dollar, whatever.
No, it
Nothing
doesn't.
is. All right, it used to. In
It
theory, it
doesn't.
does.
No,
It
our
doesn't
dollar
really.
is fake. Bitcoin
Yeah.
is fake. It could become the currency of the future, but like at this point, it got up to 120 something $1,000,
125, I saw.
and like you still can't really buy stuff with it on it like easily.
I am. Like I said, I'm so lost on all this talk. So, but on top of a bad stock market and a bad crypto market, we had preliminary jobs numbers today. Now, the government's not going to put out their jobs numbers till next week because we had a shutdown that lasted a day and a half, but they're using that to delay it by a week. But there's all those independent companies that track jobs. So we got their numbers today. Let's see how their numbers were.
Oh no.
Breaking just moments ago, new data showing January was the worst month for job cuts since the 2009 Great Recession. CNN senior reporter Matt Egan is joining me now. What else is this report telling you?
Yeah, Sarah, look, this is a bad way to start 2026, right? Layoffs way up, hiring way down. So Challenger Gray and Christmas reports that during the month of January, U.S.-based employers announced just over 108,000 layoffs. Now, that is roughly double January of 2025 and roughly triple the end of last year. In fact, Sarah, as you mentioned, this is the highest since January 2009 during the great financial crisis. Of course, that was just months after the collapse of Lehman Brothers.
Oh.
So
okay.
we lost 108,000 jobs in January, largest January loss since 2009. Things aren't going well. I mean, and jobs have been like right now, and I had to do some further studying for this, but right now we have 7.5 million people looking for jobs, but they're actively looking for jobs. They can't find one. That's the largest number we've had since the Great Recession. So, and it's been, there are all kinds of charts that I saw all day long, and it's just been a steady slide down since Liberation Day. Also, like Trump keeps talking about, we're bringing manufacturing back. The New York Post and the Wall Street Journal, which are like right-wing newspapers, both had headlines this week that Trump promises a manufacturing boom, but in reality, it's been a slide or something along those lines. But they're pointing out to their viewers that things aren't going well. So,
yeah,
yay.
I mean, he promised everything. Were we talking about this the other day where we think he's trying to crash the economy?
Trying to crash the dollar. That's two different things. You can crash the dollar without crashing the economy theoretically, but it seems like he's crashing everything. And I don't know that he cares. Like, if he cared, he would change his tactic. But I don't know.
Yeah, he does not care.
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's a problem. Speaking of money, did you see Melania's movie made $7 million opening weekend?
They keep saying that it was the highest grossing documentary of all time or something like that. And at first I was like, really? It only made 7 million, but I started thinking about it. I didn't do any research on this, so maybe I'm wrong. But how many documentaries do you know that get like theatrical runs that go through the theaters?
Almost none.
Almost none. So this is like one of the few, maybe the only documentary to get like a nationwide theater release. Mm-hmm. So it had a budget of 70 million, I want to say, or no, it was
something like that.
70 million plus 35 million in advertising. So 105 million, I believe, was the total budget for the movie.
Wait, plus 40 to Melania?
Well, it's 40 for Melania and then 35 to make it.
Okay.
And then 35 to advertise it.
Are they ever going to make their money back?
No, never. So the day after or like I said, Monday. So the day after the weekend where it made 7 million, Pete Hegseth was at Blue Origin, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, and it looks like they're going to get $100 billion defense contract. So they gave Melania 40 million, and overall they spent 100 million to make $1 billion. It's not a bad investment. It's a good bribe right there. Like that's money well spent if you're Bezos.
That is so crazy that you can just bribe the president.
Openly, like right out in the open.
Openly,
Yeah.
right out in the open. Also, apparently, there's speculation that there was a lot of fake ticket sales going on. You know how
So,
when these politicians they put out a book and they buy a shit ton of the book so
so
it boosts the sales in the first week, gets them on the New York Times bestseller list.
I can't remember the lady's name. I want to say it's Paula Dean, but I think she's a cook.
She's a
Whatever.
cook, yeah.
It's the lady that's Trump's like spiritual advisor, like faith leader or whatever. I can picture her, but I can't think of her name.
Was she diddling kids too?
No, not that I know of. It hasn't
It
been.
seems like all of the spiritual
Yeah.
leaders keep getting arrested for.
This one's a female, so I'm going to say hopefully not. But she was sending out mass emails to like their network. Like they have a really impressive system where it's almost like a phone tree where like she emails it down to certain people, then it goes down further to the next level. And before you know it, like people in local churches around the corner from me or you are getting this information. But they were basically telling everyone like to support the first lady, go buy instead of buying one ticket to the movie, buy 30. And there's a lot of speculation. There was a lot of they call it astroturfing, but like nobody has pictures of packed theaters for Melania.
Yeah.
Like we're not seeing that at all. So I want to say that there were probably a lot of ticket sales that didn't end up getting used.
What does a normal movie make in the first opening weekend?
I think if a movie is like a failure in the opening weekend, it's like 5 to 10 million. Like that would be bad. Like if you only made 5 to 10 million. Like
Okay.
the records like, you know, Avatar and stuff like that made like 200 billion worldwide first weekend. That's not
Billion?
normal. That's not or million, probably
Okay.
million. But
Okay.
that's not normal. Like that's
Yeah.
blockbusters. I think nowadays inflation, cost of tickets have gone up and all that. But I remember a couple years back, like if a movie made like 30 or 40 million opening weekend, that was pretty good. Like that was a good
Yeah.
opening weekend. So 7 million for a movie is not good. But for a documentary, I mean, that's the highest grossing documentary of all time, theoretically.
Okay.
So,
All right. We'll
yeah.
take it. We'll take it. Are we going to Epstein?
All right,
Going to
so
Epstein. Everybody's talking about that's all I see on my YouTube feed. I had to dig to find other stuff today. I was
So-
like, is nothing else going on in the world?
here's the thing. I purposely went really light on Epstein tonight because, first of all, we covered it extensively on our last one. And also, that's all anybody's talking about right now. And we're missing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of crucial things happening right now that I have planned for the rest of the show. But I know you want to talk some Epstein, so we can do a little bit of Epstein here.
I mean, I don't really want to talk. Yeah, let's talk it. Let's talk
Did
about it.
you see where Trump in the Oval Office the other day? He said, you know, I think we've done all because let me back up. Todd Blanche and Kash Patel both did interviews. Kash was on Fox with Brett Baer. Todd Blanche was on a lot of places. He's the assistant attorney general, and they both were saying that's it. Like that's the end. We gave you all the stuff we can give you. The rest of it we can't legally give you. So that's the files. Good luck. Like they're done at this point.
But there's 3 million more files.
We're
left.
not going to see those. Also,
Oh, I have something for you
Go ahead.
actually on that. So, do you think we'll ever see the rest of those files?
not unredacted.
So, you think like the next time a Democrat gets office is going to go through and find those files?
So I've heard speculation. I don't know what the laws are on redacting, but apparently, like whenever you redact something, you're supposed to do it in a way to where it can be unredacted. And there's
Okay.
theories. There's theories that when the next president gets in, if it's a Democrat, like there's going to be a bunch of files sitting there that are going to be totally blacked out and done in a way to where they're not recoverable.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if that's legal or true, but that's what I've heard.
I've been following this guy on YouTube for a little while. His name's Andrew Bustamante, and he's an I think CIA spy, and he has a YouTube channel and he talks about different stuff, and he's really good. Shout out to Andrew Bustamante. But open up this video I sent you, burn bag.
Oh, I know this guy.
Classified documents to understand that first, really damning classified documents can easily be destroyed. Easily, right? Sue Helms, who was the acting director at CIA during the I think it was Obama's years. I'm pretty sure it was Obama's years. When he was digging into Guantanamo Bay, she received an order to destroy classified documents pertaining to CIA torture in Guantanamo Bay. And there's a document documenting the order that she got, and there's a separate document documenting her confirmation that she has destroyed the documents she was ordered to destroy. So we already know, even in the modern day, classified documents are not safe. They can easily be destroyed. When they're destroyed, fun fact, they're destroyed in something called a burn bag, which is funny because a burn bag isn't actually burned. Burned bags are actually bags of printed documents, of original documents, that are dropped down a chute into a termination chamber. And in that termination chamber, they're moved into a vat of liquid that dissolves paper. So they can never be reconstructed. They're not shred, they're not burned. It's much better for the environment. They're dropped into like a vat of liquid that dissolves them, and they're gone forever. So if there were damning documents, they would have received an order to be liquidated, to be totally destroyed, so that even when that president leaves office, no future president can come in and find anything. And that's just the way the world works. The people who get to make the rules make the rules.
That's just damn alarming right there.
Right.
It makes like, first of all, I believe that they would do that. But that's destruction of evidence, right? Like if you've committed a crime, if anything you did was illegal and you're destroying the evidence, that's a crime, I would think. I don't know. I believe they do it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I believe it's probably already been done.
Yeah, I don't think that the next president's gonna. Let's say, and here's the thing: the more and more we see on this, which if there was anything damning on Trump, they're sure as heck they wouldn't have released it in this batch of 3 million. Like it's one of the ones they didn't release. Okay, but so far we haven't seen anything on Trump that points at him being a diddler.
There was one thing, wasn't there?
Maria Farmer, and they never actually said that he actually diddled them. It was that they were brought to him to like inspect and see if he was interested, type thing.
So there was something somebody was talking about Trump at Epstein's apartment, raping underage girl.
You're talking about the Katie Johnson thing?
Is that what it was? I don't know.
I'd love to know more about the Katie Johnson thing. She was supposedly 13 at the time. She says that Trump did that. It was set to go to trial, and then she basically withdrew charges and said she didn't want to pursue it anymore. And it appears most likely she either got threatened, or what I really believe is she got a large paycheck and an NDA. She got paid to go away is what most likely happened. Either way, she never followed through with it. There's very little in the public domain. There's a little bit we can see that there was a case with, and she was using an alias. The alias was Katie Johnson. That's not her real name because she was underage. But for whatever reason, she decided not. She basically withdrew and said, nope, I don't want to take this any further, and disappeared. And we'll never know what happened to her.
Now, are there lawyers out there that have all this information as well?
I don't know. If they do, I would think they have to be like sworn to secrecy, I would think.
Yeah, there's no way that
our biggest hope
administration is the only person that has all this information, right?
So our hope is that let's say there were some random, we say probably were very selective about what FBI agents were getting to do all the redacting and dig through all these files. But our hope is that one of them has a conscience, and after this administration, they'll come in and testify in front of Congress and say, I was ordered to destroy or redact these documents that had this person's name. You know, that's our only hope. And then that'll still be like not quite hearsay, but like that'll be his word versus whoever's word, and it won't be anything concrete. Like that's our best hope.
Yeah, and I was listening to Kyle Kalinske right before we got on here, and he was going on a rant about how it's not just diddling kids. They were into like torture, murder, and bestiality.
So there were emails about that. And here's what I'll say. You can never tell tone through an email if somebody's joking or if it's an inside joke. I just want to say that. There was one email where they were talking about 2 girls that he had murdered and then buried next to his ranch in New Mexico or something along those lines. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but like, I would think that hopefully somebody went out there with like some cadaver dogs and started sniffing around to see. Like, if it turns out there are 2 shallow graves somewhere on that property, like, then we need to really have a talk about that. But I'll bet that they didn't even really follow up on that at all, which is scary. So yeah.
Right, and like also, the FBI isn't following up on all these leads.
And the crazy thing is, like, they failed to redact the name of several, like I think it was like 40 underage girls that were the victims, and they just put out a list. Here's all the girls we know of that were underage, and it had all their names, and only one out of like the 40 was redacted. So that they got upset, and that's the whole thing going on right now. But like, they seem to be really, really, really intent on blacking out the names of the men that were hanging out with Jeffrey. None of those got slipped through, but the victims, they didn't see. That was like a secondary thought. Like, we have to be sure and protect all these rich guys. And then let's also try to protect the girls. That's kind of how it comes across.
It also looks like Trump and Epstein were still hanging out well after he said they were not.
I don't know about that. Here's the thing. There was like an email right after the election, but before the inauguration in 2016. And he was like, "Oh, I'm headed to Miami to hang out with the Trump boys," or he said something like that. And then there's also another one from like 2019, like a month before he got arrested, where his secretary was trying to set up a lunch with Don Jr. So we don't know if that lunch ever happened with Don Jr. And also, when he says he's going to hang out with the Trump boys, like, several people have theorized that, like, they kind of all had the same friends, Howard Lutnick and people like that. And if he was heading to Miami, I was going to hang out with like the old Trump gang, which Trump might not have been there. He might have been in DC at this point, but it was the Trump guy, the guys from the Trump circle or something like that. So I'd love, and they wouldn't have released it, but like, if they give me one piece of, concrete, like, oh, look, Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were hanging out on this day at this time, well after 2005, like, I'm all ears. But like, the way it's phrased and everything, he never says I'm hanging out with Trump. He says, "Oh, I'm hanging out with the Trump boys," or this, whatever it is. It's never directly that. So it leaves room for deniability.
I also was thinking about this today, and there's so many people within Trump's orbit that have had lovers unexpectedly die, either by suicide or falling down stairs or just vanish and die.
Yeah. It's weird. Even Trump's second wife that fell down the stairs. There's questions around that one. RFK's first wife, that's a whole thing. Like, either the best case scenario is he was having like 35 affairs on her at once, and she found out about it and hung herself. But then also the autopsy report from that says that she was trying to get her fingers back through the rope and like not die. So either she changed her mind at the last minute as she was choking, or there was foul play involved. Like, that's a weird one. Like, and
Steve Bannon had a girlfriend.
Yeah, Steve Bannon's creepy. There's a lot about that guy.
And then wasn't there one guy who had him and his husband had a lover
that's Scott Bessent.
That is Bessent? I tried to look that up. I couldn't find it. I was like, is that Bessent?
I think it's Bessent, yeah.
Okay.
They had like it was like a young Latin American type boyfriend that like killed himself by jumping off a balcony. It's one of those, like, where in Russia, like, oh, he fell out the window again. All these people that talk crap about Putin keep falling out windows. Like, what's the deal with that? And like, I think that guy like jumped off a balcony, which, maybe he did. I don't know. But I believe that was Scott Bessent. I'm going to say allegedly here, but I believe that was Scott Bessent.
Okay.
So anyhow, it's odd. So, real quick. So Trump said we had Blanche and Kash Patel both say that's it. We're not giving you any more. And then Trump in the Oval Office the other day, he said, I think the DOJ should just say we've got better things to do right now, and that's it, or something like that. It's like, hold on, wait, better things to do than holding people accountable for diddling kids? Like, that's what? Tell me what else the DOJ has that's more important than that right now. Like, that seems to be a thing.
Their whole base was all about this.
Yeah, I've got a clip here, and this clip has been shared a lot. The tail end of this clip, the whole, I don't even know how to phrase this right. There's this whole thing with women where like guys that are sexist are like, why don't you smile more? Apparently that's very offensive to women. I'm not a woman. I can't put myself in that place, but I know not to tell a woman to smile because apparently that strikes a chord. I'm not trying to like downplay that. I get that it's a big deal. I'm just saying I don't fully understand the context behind it. Anyhow, Caitlin Collins, towards the end of this clip, Trump gives her one of those comments. So the end of this clip has been played a lot, but the whole clip is worth watching real quick. Okay. Check this out from the Oval Office.
You talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. I heard that. and you tell me something else. No. I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
What would you say to people
like
who feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare,
justice, Mr. President?
something that people care about? Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead,
What would you say to
are
the
so
survivors
bad.
who feel like they haven't gotten
You are the
justice?
worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face. You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
Survivors of a sexual
You
abuse.
mentioned healthcare and the
A couple
her.
things. She's great. Couple things on that. She's asking about the survivors of domestic, or what do you call it, sexual assault. I don't know what you call that. That's not something to. If she was smiling as she asked that question, that'd be psycho-like behavior right there. So okay, whatever. Also, when she brought up that, hey, two close members of your cabinet are in all these emails, he said, I've got a lot of things to do. I haven't really read it. Again, what do you have to do? Two members of your cabinet were associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
He's building a ballroom, dude, and a arch. Like
he
he's got
basically
too
said
much shit going on.
he basically said, I have better things to do right now. So I'm not like, what? And then to follow it up, and I didn't pull this clip, but JD Vance got interviewed by Megyn Kelly yesterday. And he brought that whole thing up on his own. He was like, yeah. And he's like, and the other day I wasn't there, but I saw it. President Trump, he's got such great intuition. Caitlin Collins asked him a question, and he pointed out that she doesn't smile enough. And, that's what I love about him is his intuition. And then Megyn Kelly went on to say, like, oh, yeah, Roger Ailes was the head of Fox and sexually harassed a lot of women there. That movie Bombshell is about him. She was like, oh yeah, Roger Ailes used to point that out to me all the time that I need to smile more. And it's just like, yeah, no, that. But anyhow,
lines up. Lines up.
It lines up perfectly.
I can't believe that all these people are just basically they're basically in this like sex trafficking ring. Like all these people that are surrounding Trump are in the sex trafficking ring, have been involved, associated. They're all getting big deals. This is insane, man.
Well, it turns out that most of the like world's most powerful and elite billionaire class, we're all friends and we're all associated with Jeffrey Epstein. Some may have been doing things, some may not have, but they were all. And here's the thing, even the ones that weren't doing anything, like I strongly believe like they knew something was up and they chose not to say anything. Like and people have brought up this clip a lot, but back in 2016, before the election, when so Epstein didn't jump onto any of our minds until like 2018. There was a lady named Julie Brown with the Miami Herald who wrote a big story about the sweetheart deal he had gotten. Like some people knew the name Jeffrey Epstein, but you didn't associate him with child trafficking at all up until like 2018. This is all a relatively new thing for us. But like in 2016, Donald Trump, to a microphone while campaigning for president, made a comment about Epstein and all the Democrats that were involved with him. And he specifically said, I believe, Reid Hoffman, it was one of the big Democratic donors. I can't remember which one. But like right there, Trump is admitting he knew something was going on and he chose not to say anything. So like nobody's doing each other favors by being like, oh, well, I knew him and I hung out with him, but I never did it myself. I think there were whispers. It's very much like with Harvey Weinstein. Like there's a lot of people in Hollywood that were well aware of what he was doing, but just didn't say anything. And it's like, okay, that's not the same, but that's also not good. Like that's, that shows you have a lack of character or something.
Yes. Yeah. And they're the leaders of the free world at this point.
Yeah.
These are our leaders, the people who are murdering,
What's
experimenting
good?
with bestiality and underage women.
What is good is apparently like England for sure. England's having huge fallout over the Epstein stuff. Like their prime minister to America or to somewhere, I think to America, was in the files and he got fired immediately. Prince Andrew is no longer a prince. But England, France, Germany, Spain, like all the countries that had their billionaires involved in this have all decided they're launching full-on investigations into this. And there's a chance we might find out some stuff about American people through these other countries doing their investigations.
Oh, good.
He hasn't said it yet, but it's going to be interesting if at some point Trump tries to strong arm them into not investigating Epstein. That'll be interesting. I don't know if he's going to do it. I'm just saying, keep your ear out for that. So
this is so bad.
Yeah.
So just evil. This is evil.
So
it's fucking evil.
Go ahead.
I wanted to bring something up because we had talked about this and you were like, I don't know if they're actually building concentration camps in America.
Well, they're building detention camps.
Yeah, 23 of them to house. Yeah. I mean, what else do you call it?
Right, I'm going to say it's a detention camp for now.
But what's a detention camp? What's the difference between a detention and a concentration camp?
I'm sure there's a legal definition of each.
What did we put the Japanese in World War II?
Would those be? I don't think those were called detention camps. Hold on, I'm gonna try to type.
And here's my next question is
the Japanese were put in internment camps.
Internment, okay.
Internment camps.
So we'll have to look up the definition of those. But this is kind of insane. They're going to build they have 23 sites that they're converting or building for 100,000 people. 100,000 beds.
Real quick, there's one in West Texas that apparently they've had to put a lockdown on, nobody in, nobody out, because there's a measles outbreak in the detention camp. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
yeah, because I guarantee you it's one of those one of the prison guards who isn't vaccinated, has got the measles and brought it into the thing, and now it's spreading through there.
Anyhow, and also just real quick on a Maha note, I don't have anything pulled on this, but this is terrible. An infant in New Mexico died of listeria like in the last week because while it was in the womb, its mom was drinking raw milk. And, there's one way to get rid of those bacteria, and it's called pasteurization. But this mom apparently has said that she became really into the Maha thing and was following all these Maha moms on Instagram. And there's a farm in New Mexico that they haven't been able to prove this is where she got the milk, but there's a farm that's run by some Maha mom that has stopped all sales for right now because of that death. So anyhow, just pointing that out. Anyhow, little Maha for you.
So what are they going to do with these 100,000 beds when they get rid of all these immigrants?
I don't know, because the one in West Texas is one of the biggest ones in the nation, but it was an existing place. They didn't build it. I don't know what it was before, but they converted some existing federal building or federal place into a detention camp, and that's holding a lot of people. They built some new ones. The one in Nebraska, there's a name for it called the Cornhusker Clink or something like that. They had Alligator Alcatraz, which that one is now shut down.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, they're building a lot of them, and probably going to be private prisons after that. I mean, that's the private prison industry is a moneymaker. Those people lobby the government hard. So
yeah,
I don't know. Eventually, you think
you'll be in one, and I'll be in one for talking bad about Trump.
I didn't pull this either, but real quick, it came out this week that Department of Homeland Security has been trying to pressure all the social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, X, all that, to give up their users' info, like that run anonymous accounts that are talking bad about ICE or Donald Trump. I would bet that Zuckerberg and Elon would probably give that up. I don't know. I don't know if they've given it up yet, but so
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Did you see Elon's under scrutiny for what he did at Doge?
It's in France. In France, his office got raided. The X headquarters in France, because they have very strict rules on what can be done on social media. And if you remember back a couple weeks ago, I think I told you, Grok was doing very sexually suggested images of people without their permission. Like I could just post and be like, hey,
underage images.
Hey, Grok, show me this person in a bikini, and it would do it. Put him in a thong bikini, and it would do it. Put him in lingerie. So yeah, and that. Elon did stop that that lasted for about 3 days, and then Elon put a stop to that, but it lasted for 3 days. So
yeah, no, I was talking about what he did with Doge.
Oh, I saw that too. So the one in France is his bigger legal issue right now. The one with Doge, I think, just because of who's running the government, he's gonna skate on that one. So anyhow, everything's going to be fine. Yep. So, all right. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Later, dude.
Later.
Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you.